Now, here's where it starts to get a little bit tricky, is when you're looking at his contract situation. So he's reaching the end of his rookie contract. New York does have the right of first refusal next summer when it comes to restricted free agency. But I mean, you mentioned this in our last segment. The guard rotation is cluttered. DiVincenzo, new contract. Brunson, new contract. Hart, new contract. Is there room for Quickley to really become the best version of himself alongside those other players? They're all going to get a lot of minutes. Tibbs trusts those guys a lot. They're being paid a lot of money. So I just wonder, are they going to look for opportunities to move on from Quickley, to fortify the forward rotation? Do they stick with him the whole season? If they do, what kind of offers does he get? Do they keep him on? Do they match a big offer? Because I don't know if it makes sense as far as the allocation of funds if he gets a $20+ million offer from another team to bring him in if he's going to be a backup guard. So, yeah. I mean, how do you see that kind of playing out when it comes to his upcoming free agency situation?
That's going to be one of the biggest storylines of the 23-24 campaign is how the Knicks move forward with Immanuel Quickley. I mean, last trade deadline, we heard that they were listening to offers for Immanuel Quickley, hoping to obtain a first-round pick. How legitimate that was, we'll never know. But what's interesting is them bringing in DiVincenzo, I believe – that gave them more flexibility in terms of if they need to make a move in the future, if Joel Embiid becomes available, if it's Donovan Mitchell, you name it, those guys that they're after, the big fish. DiVincenzo's pickup makes guys like it Quickley, unfortunately, expendable. Now, when you think about playing time and his role, there were rumblings last year that his camp was unhappy with him being in that six-man position. They were looking for opportunities for Quickley to start even 2 seasons ago when the Knicks really had no answer at the point guard position when the Kemba Walker experiment failed. So there were rumblings coming from his camp about his playing time and his role with the team. Does he want to be a starter? Does he want to be a reserve? Well, that just got a whole lot more complicated with the addition of DiVincenzo. And so how Tom Thibodeau manages that rotation, because remember, as I said, Quickley has been Mr. Fourth Quarter for them. He has been the closer for them. But with DiVincenzo here now, and we'll see what happens with Quentin Grimes. We'll see what happens with RJ, with Hart. The Quentin 2 Grimes. And the 3, you know,
about him too, man.
At Grimes, right? So when it comes to the closing lineups in these games, the only position you're guaranteed is the 1 and the 4. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle. The 2 and the 3, and you know, the 5 is a 5, but the 2 and the 3, we'll see who finishes there. And so the point is that Quickley's minutes could be impacted here. Where now, if he's going out and shopping his services as a restricted free agent, how many teams are going to say, well, this is our starting point guard, or this is a starting caliber point guard, let's pay him as such? I think his market value in terms of how much salary he can command might be capped, because he will be, unless there's a catastrophic injury to Jalen Brunson, he will be relegated to a bench role. So I think that's going to be fascinating to see. In terms of dollar amount, I think he's going to get 20, about 20, maybe 21. I don't see him getting in mid-20s. I think that's when you're getting into starter level money. But what Josh Hart got, I think Quickley will get a little bit more than that, so about 20. Yes, it'll be with the Knicks, I believe, but down the road, I think Quickley could get traded in a blockbuster trade. It won't be at a trade deadline or for nominal gains. I think if the Knicks do trade Immanuel Quickley, it'll be in a blockbuster move, and that's what I see coming down the road.